let's get started. This is video number 6. Alright, so we have some more arrows conditions, but now the difference between this is now it's the appropriate violations. So it's not the definitions, it's the violations. So remember, uniqueness of group ranking, that's always the weird one, so we're going to hold off on that. I always call this unanimous. Remember, unanimous is 100%. So C, 100% of the class wants Dave. There it is. I mean, that's a dead giveaway right there. All right, non-dictatorship. Remember, one person cannot be the tell-all or the one that decides everything. So look at A. Whatever John says, the class will do. So there we go. So one person, dictator. There it is. A. Individual sovereignty. Remember, this is self-freedom. All right. So looking at B, you could rank whoever for class president, but here we go. But you have to put Sally as your second choice. So you are not free to rank everything the way you'd like to. So there's the violations. And lastly, freedom from irrelevant alternatives. Remember, irrelevant. Remember, not trying to be politically incorrect, but that's a loser. All right, if you're irrelevant, that's kind of like a loser here. So looking at D, Bill's in first place, but when Julie, which is in last place, decides to drop out, Bill's no longer in first place. So Bill was in first place, now he's not. That's a violation. And lastly, Fred is in first place in the Monday election and second place if the election's on Tuesday. So the preferences changed, the uniqueness of the group ranking changed. There's a violation. All right, so moving on. All right, the Conversating Method. All right, so who's the winner of the Conversating Method? Remember, it is the Conversating Method is you are comparing. It's a head-to-head competition between every person and every other person. Now, these are the results of the little method here, and so you always read it to the right. Okay, so like A and A cannot compete against itself, the same person. But if you notice, there's a W here, A, W, B. That means A beat B. A, W, C, A beat C. A, L, D, that was a loss. So A's record in this little tournament here was 2-1. Remember, wins to losses. Now, if you can't remember exactly what we're talking about with the Conversating Method, I believe the next question has to deal with actually creating this chart. Okay, so this might be one of those where you need to skip and just come back to it. All right, B is also loss, win-win, is a 2-1. C is a 1-2, and D is a 1-2. Now, we have a tie here. We have a tie between A and B. Now, who's the overall winner? Well, if the tie is between A and B, you just simply look. So I'm just going to look on A's row. When A and B faced off, notice that A won. So that would be the tiebreaker, so to speak. So the answer is A. All right. Now, here's the actual Conversating Method. Now, looking back, I should have started with this one and then went back to the other one, but I didn't. All right. This is how you fill out the chart. All right. Again, remember, you read the chart from left to right. Also, there's always going to be X's down the main diagonal, so to speak, because of the fact that one candidate cannot face off against it and any other candidate. All right. So here we go. How did we get this L? All right. Now, A lost to B. Well, let's figure out why. Between A and B, here's what we're doing. We're only paying attention to A and B. Okay? E, C, and D, they don't mean anything. So it's almost like they don't even exist. All right, so it's just A and B. Let's see if I can focus in a little bit on this. I don't know if that's going to help or hurt. All right, so maybe I can just do that. There we go. That might be a little better. Now, notice in this first column, remember, it's just between A and B. Who was the overall winner? A was ranked higher. This is A's row. I'm just going to put A there. Notice B was ranked higher here. That's B's. Now, this is a little more challenging because of the fact that A and B are not even in first place. But again, who is ranked higher? B's ranked higher. So B won that column. B won that column. Again, it's between A and B. Even though A and B are not in first place, A was still ranked higher in this column, so this is A's column. And then lastly, B was ranked higher here. There we go. All right, so you add up the votes of the columns that B won. So B won this column, this column, this column, and that column. So 10 plus 12 plus 17 plus 7, you get a number. A won these two columns, 15 and 5. That's 20. Obviously, B had more votes. So A lost to B. Now you go ahead and fill out, but B beat A. All right. So let's try another one. And this might be one of these ones where you might need to come in and ask for some tutoring for this one. All right, let's look at this one here. A beat C. Well, let's figure it out how that was. All right, so going back into my chart here. All right, let me go ahead and scratch all this out. Now, the reason I'm not scratching this out is because A is clearly on first place here. So A and C is what we're paying attention to. So A was the winner. Now, remember, it's between A and C. Notice A and C, neither of them are in first place, but A is ranked higher. A and C, again, A is ranked higher. A and C, A is ranked higher. Oh, C is ranked higher here. C is ranked higher here. All right. Now you add up all the columns that they won. You add up the totals, and this clearly is going to be more than the C's columns, which is 12. So A is clearly the winner here. So you would say A beat C, but then C lost to A. All right. And that's about as far as I'm going to go in this this thing here, because this is a very long process. And if you need additional help, just come in for tutoring here. All right, so let's see, A, 2 and 2. Remember, wins to losses. B is 4 and 0. B is pretty much going to be our winner here. C is going to be 0, 4, 2 and 2, 2 and 2. So who's the overall winner for this Conversating method? That would be B. All right. Question number 41. We're in matrices now. 4A and B. All right, so that means 4 times A, and I'm going to add it to B. All right, so that would be, let's go ahead and do this. Okay, 5, 21, 102, 6, 35, 63. I'm going to times that by 4 first, and then I'm going to add B to it. I'm just going to put B right here because I'm going to rewrite B in a second. I'm just trying to save time. So when I distribute 4 to all the scalar multiplication, it's now 20, 24, 84. I'm doing this very quickly in my head, so I'm hoping all this is right. I believe that is going to be 408. And 63 times 4, just lost it on that one. Oh, 252. I believe all that's right. Now I'm going to add that to the elements of B. All right, now adding matrices are very simple, because all you're doing is, first off, the dimensions of each matrix is the same. That's got to be, so that's a 3 by 2 matrix. That's a 3 by 2 matrix, so I know I can get all that right. I know I can add all that, so my answer is going to be a 3 by 2 matrix. So in order to get this element, very simply, 20 plus 52 gives me 72. 24 plus 11 gives me 35. 84 plus 51, early in the morning, I can't figure that out, 135. 140, 63, 203, 408 plus 23, I believe that's 431, and then 252 and 119, I believe that is going to be 371, I believe. There you go. That's it. All right, next question. 42. Due to the popularity of your taco stand, you have decided to expand your business. Okay. So you sell tacos for this, and create a row matrix. All right. So creating a row matrix, 225, 275, 350, and lastly, 325. There you go. There's my row matrix. Use matrix multiplication. All right. So label your matrix. So this matrix here is a 1, 2, 3, 4 by 4. This matrix here is a 4 by 3. So remember, when you set your matrix up, you got to make sure that you can multiply it. Now, the way you multiply it is by making sure your two middle numbers of your dimensions match, and I'll show you that in a second. Let me rewrite this here. This is a 4 by 1 matrix. All right, so here's what we have. our two middle numbers match, so that means our two middle numbers, our dimensions match. Our two outer numbers will be the answer to my matrix. I don't know why I put a 1 there. That's not a 1. That's a 4 by 3. Sorry, you're probably yelling at the screen right now. All right, so that is a 1 by 3. So my answer will be a 1 by 3 matrix. So let me draw a 1 by 3 matrix. 1, 2, 3. All right, this is my working matrix. Now remember, this is my row matrix, which means I'm always moving to the right. This is my column matrix. I'm always moving down. Okay, so here we go. This right here is row 1, column 1. Now row 1 on my row matrix is right here. Column 1, column 2, column 3. All right, so I'll probably need my calculator for this one. All right, so row 1, column 1. Row 1 starts at 225. Column 1 starts at 55. All right, so 2.25 times 55. So 225 times 55, 123.75. I'm now going to shift over to 275 as I move down to 47. All right, so 2.75 times 47, 129.25. I'm going to run out of room, I bet you. Go down to 350, multiply it by 35. Now remember, every time we shift over, we shift down on this first column. 350 times 35 gives me 38.5 plus shift to 325, shift down to 30. So 3.25 plus 30, that gives me 33.25. So this is my working matrix, if you remember. Let's put all in ones. This is my actual answer. All right. So add all these up and get your answer right here. Okay. Now this right here is row 1, column 2. So row 1 is here. Column 2 is now starting with 43. So I'm going to take 225 multiplied by 43, 96.75, plus 275 multiplied by 36, and so on and so forth. Now, skipping to row 1, column 3. Again, row 1 you're still starting at 225, but now you'll be starting at 38, and you'll be working your way this way. And again, after you add each little blank here, once you multiply, then you add them to get your final answer. Now I'm going to pause the video because it's going to be a very long problem if I just keep it going. And so I'm going to pause the video right now, and I'm going to give you the answer in a second. All right, those are my answers. $387.75, 440. You can read it. All right, so technically, if we were going to keep going, the question was, how much money have you made with your business of your taco stand? This blank will stand for tacos. This would be the burritos. And yeah, and that's oh, I'm sorry, no, that would be the north. Sorry, that would be the north. This would be the south, and this would be the west taco stand. That's if you kept reading the problem. All right, that's just kind of going a little more with the story, and I'm sure none of y'all really cared about that. But anyway, there it is. That's the end of video number 6. Hope you learned something. Thank you very much.